Beautiful souls. How are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing day. Sure. Sorry, guys. My audio and my computer. Okay. Happy 12/12. Today we're gonna really get into some healing work because this week has been really intense in very powerful lessons for a lot of people that I've been working with. And it really made me think about the energies of this time. And of course, 12/12 is a very powerful day. And we've kind of been building towards this day this week tremendously. So I want to share with you a couple insights that I received last night in my meditation about today, but also some of the work that we are invited to do as we move through these really powerful openings. I think that back in the day or before, we used to think of portals and openings as these windows of opportunities that present themselves. But as we move in the next year, we're going to really be experiencing, I think, real portal experiences. I think the energies have been gentle up until now. That as we move forward in this coming year, we're going to be experiencing very powerful activations of many, many aspects of the subconscious mind. What is coming to the forefront is everything that is in the subconscious mind, all of the core belief systems that have been hidden away from ourselves primarily. Okay, so anything that you've been kind of resisting to look at, resisting to integrate, resisting to see, resisting to embody, this is coming to the surface. And these are probably things that, you've kind of touched on or you've had some kind of feeling about for a while. But I think right now we're talking about some pretty serious, sobering looks at patterns that we're repeating that are just, counter creative for us, number one. Number two, blocking healing in the body and blocking abundance, of course. Okay, that's pretty typical, right? Because anytime that our energy body is stagnant in some way, we're not holding energy in a way that is productive, you can be sure that you're going to have blockages in the body. And so what we're experiencing at this time is a profound stagnation of creative energy. Now, 12/12 numerologically is a very powerful number that is all about integration. It's all about the third, the birth of what has come, was been created, what is kind of building to the apex of that product of creation, the birth of something. And so the invitation this month, as we've been talking about these last couple of months, is really, are you ready for a rebirth? Okay. And so the energies have opened up beautifully this week, beautifully expansive. You're really feeling an opening, activation of intuition, awareness, deeper awareness, insights that felt like you're moving through mud before are now open. Okay. So it's almost as if the cloud that we've been moving through for the past 4 or 5 months, that sluggish, energetic feeling, that sluggish feeling of your spiritual divine connection, the communication, the intuition that comes through is now going to come in really clear. And this is only going to get stronger. It's only going to get stronger. And the reason for that is that we need to work with refining our ability to sustain higher bands of information, higher bands of frequency, so that we can embody this new human, this new self that we're essentially co-creating. And so one aspect of that essentially is, can you handle your own truth? Okay, can you handle your truth? Can you handle the difficult things that are coming up? And today, energetically, the way that energy has opened so amazing is very, very soothing and very supportive of you looking at your truths in a way that is compassionate, gentle. And I think one word that keeps coming up this week is the embodiment of actual compassion for yourself, true compassion, integrated compassion, where you are looking at where you criticize yourself, where you block yourself, where you limit yourself, where you are creating self-sabotage, especially. And that's really important because as you come into the next year, things are going to be moving super fast. And so the invitation is like, are you clear about the direction that you're taking? If you're not clear about that, what do you need to become clear? What is the support that you need? What do you need to feel supported? What do you need to trust the intuitions and the messages that are coming to you, and to act on those intuitions in a way that is healthy for you? Okay. And so another aspect of this is the fact that we're not trusting fully the messages that are coming through. Okay. And there's an element of that that I want to talk about in a couple different ways. The first part is I want to talk about karma. It's a theme that came up today in my sessions, actually in a couple of my sessions, not just one, about perhaps erroneous ideas about what karma really is. Okay. And I think we're kind of recovering from this idea that karma is punishment. Karma is like, you do something bad's going to happen to you, or someone else does something bad and something bad is going to happen to the other person. So in reality, karma is really cause and effect. And I think the maturing that we have to do when it comes to understanding karma is understanding to recognize balance, harmonic order, and what giving and receiving actually looks like. It's not the old concept coming from shame, from destruction, from suffering, from maybe feelings of resentment and annihilation, either to ourselves or another. Severe suppressions of angers and helplessness, hopelessness, these kinds of emotions that are all tied to what it means to have experiences with other humans. And I think an important element is to remember that every single experience that is happening to you in your life is designed by the minute, precisely in the way that you require that experience for your growth and for your expansion. So when you look at the past year, and we're going to do that in today's meditation, and you take a look at what are some of the patterns that you just can't let go because you have such a deep attachment to this karmic balance that you feel needs to be maintained or needs to be kept. These are the things that are being flushed out because the resistance to that movement of either your healing, your acceptance of these experiences, or the things that are happening external to you are the destruction of your potential, the destruction of your healing, the destruction of your ability to be free, right? And so one thing that we need to look at with the 1212 portal is that the birthing of this, that when you birth something, we don't become attached to what we're creating. We don't become attached to our identity. We don't become attached to the product of our suffering, or the victim concept of ourselves, but rather can we embody freedom as a result of integrating our truths. And that's another aspect of this spiritual maturing that we're coming into, to be able to recognize harmonic order in ourselves, in our co-creation, in the life around us, the global events around us, universal events around us, and still maintain this sovereignty, maintain a freedom. And so one thing that we're being asked at the end of this year, because this year is all about endings, it's all about the end of karmic cycles, and particularly ancestral programs. Okay, so by now you should be pretty clear about the ancestral programs that you keep repeating. The ancestral programs of limitation, lack, consciousness, fears, anxieties, doubts. Anytime that we're experiencing just severe pattern repetitions of these behaviors, we really are invited to kind of take a look at what needs to end and why, and becoming very conscious of that, because we have to understand that these are shackles. They're shackles to your essence. And so as we move into this new human, as we move into the new era, we are being called to embody the human that is multidimensional, that is free, that is able to move freely, energetically, multidimensionally, in the mind, in the body, in the physical realm, right? So a lot of us have a lot of constriction. We have ideas of limitations. We're still holding on to these old system models of rules, and the thing is that it's not that we're going to live without rules or boundaries. But we need to rewrite those rules to come into harmony with harmonic order and natural order. Because right now, the way that these structures are built is actually out of alignment with that harmonic order. And it is more about control over something else, power over someone else, something, so a lot of our suffering and a lot of our attachment to our suffering is this idealized concept that we're actually in control of something. And so control is an illusion. Control is a very, very powerful illusion. And it's a really hard one to break because as a human, when you're attached to the identity of the human, the role that you play as a human, you're really grasping on to any level of control that you can hold on to. And that's when life gets really difficult, right? Because you keep holding on to, this little stick and the river is pushing you that way. You go on to another little stick and it's just, you're hurting your hands instead of flowing with the river, So I guess at the core of this is you're addressing all the little aspects of yourself that are blocking your core essence, which is pure energy. It is pure life force. What you are at the core is all and nothing simultaneously. What you are at the core is this incredible being of light and manifestation and unconditional love. And so this is where we need to essentially tap into that essence. And one of the things that is coming up in my practice this week is the peeling of the layers of parent conditioning that we adopted. A lot of the theme this week is I have taken on my mother's anxiety. I've taken on my father's unworthiness. I've taken on these concepts of fear, from my parents. And so it's parents, but then your ancestral lineage, because again, they're just repeating what's been shown and the construct that's being reinforced through the environment. So if we can begin to observe, who are you? Who are you really underneath all those little layers, the onion layers of all the conditioning, programs, concepts that you've adopted from parents, family, ancestors, society? Because the new world, the new civilization, this new era that we're entering into is for the essences. It's not about personalities. It's not for, certain races, colors, sexes. No, it is about the essence that you see yourself as light. You see yourself as pure, infinite potential, as energy. That can be scary for a lot of people because we are driven in our brains, in our societies. We are super indoctrinated to develop identities, develop personalities, develop your style, develop your, career, develop your education, develop your relationship status, your economical status. And so we have a lot of peeling to do. Right. And so the invitation is really taking a look at who are you without all those things? Because when you meet that part of you, when you really meet that part of you, you're going to begin to tap in and not only to universal consciousness, but you're entering the 0 point of where your potential lies. Because the moment that you move that way, you're also restructuring the entire geometry of your body. The way life force moves through the body becomes fluid, open, regenerative, healing, right? As opposed to contracted, limited. And so we are literally not designed to be defined in any one specific way. Even though our physical bodies, our anatomies can look a certain way, it's definitely just the beginning of what your true essence actually is. And if we would look at each other in the real with our eyes wide open, truly, we actually look like gigantic balls of light, gigantic balls of energy systems and runways and pathways of information, a frequency. So the invitation is we want to look at that part of us because it is the rebirthing of that essence. And the remembering is that you remember yourself as that all and nothing, as that pure energy source. So today, in this very powerful energy portal that we have, it's not so much that it's an activation or a portal or, because this energy, this opening is starting today and it's going to last for quite some time. And as we shift through all the different energies in the next year, you're going to remember this point in which you have made major decisions about changes, about yourself, about your life, about who you are, about how you behave, that are going to support you in the future, in this coming era, and the changes that are coming in the world. So to create this stable balance internally and to be able to be okay with changes around the world that are going to begin to move very quickly right now, you want to create a very strong, stable foundation. And that foundation cannot be built on anything that is going to be destroyed. Okay? Old models, how to know what's going to be destroyed. So any kind of trigger right now that you experience, the value that you place on those triggers, the value that you place on the personality that comes from that behavior, if you are very attached to that and subconsciously playing that out, it will be hard for you to move through this transition point. So the invitation is to get really clear about those repeated programs that keep coming up in order for you to clear the energy body as much as possible. Okay. And and essentially energetic hygiene is, of course, the second way of working with this. We talked about, psychologically, emotionally, programming, and which accesses your epigenetic layers of yourself, because the programs that you're peeling like an onion are going to rewrite your DNA. And that's really the most important part that I want you to understand, that the activation of DNA and the new human is created by you and the work that you're doing with your subconscious beliefs. So the change in your subconscious beliefs is going to be the change in the etheric body. Every construct that you dissolve in your subconscious mind is going to allow you to enter into a higher octave. Okay. And so this higher octave in your ability to navigate in higher dimensional access points in your dream state, right? So as soon as you begin to uncover, because most of the dreams that you're having right now, they're usually just limiting in dimensional range, right? You're really just getting up to maybe the fifth dimension of your body and in your dreams, okay? Because when you're not activated and when you don't train yourself to move your toroidal field in a more fluid manner, the body just repeats ancestral stories. So your dreams are going to be very, very human-like, human stories, human experiences, human emotions, human scenarios, right? And so as you clean that up, you're going to be expanding your perception in your dream state. And those memories are going to clear up because it's not what you're fighting with in subconsciously in your body, right? So whatever challenges you have throughout your day, you end up limiting your expansion in your dream state, okay? And this is also true for the bigger spiritual picture, that whatever you repeat at the time of death, you're limiting what your potential is at the time of death, because if you're in resonance to continue to learn something over and over again, if that's what you choose, you're going to have a lot of that density still holding on to this attached earth, to this story, this experience. And so you're going to want to repeat that again, right? So the alchemization of those programs are to be okay with being free, be okay with freedom, be okay with immense amounts of childlike wonder, joy, expression, okay? And I guess the last part of this for today is for you to focus on the childlike state of joy and wonder that lies on the other side of this programming. Because in the old model, the old concept of a human is sacrifice. It's pain, suffering, fear of death, survival, deception, manipulation. Okay, so those are the themes of lives that we have been repeating for many generations. The other side of that is the human that is peaceful. Okay, and so what it means to be peaceful is that we're not chasing adrenaline. We're not running like guinea pigs after the carrot, in a biochemical addiction. Okay, so we're not addicted anymore to drama. We're not addicted to pain, suffering, victim mindset, limitation. We're not addicted to a constant state of just annihilating aspects of ourselves, judgment. Okay, so those kinds of patterns are changing. And the second aspect of the new human is that they're intuitive, right? And so we are reprogramming and repatterning our trust mechanisms. Because in the old model, the victim, that is the one that is in survival, that is in sacrifice, that is in the annihilation of themselves in order to fit in, to be accepted by an external source, is one of the most toxic patterns that we can do towards ourselves. Because again, you are an infinite being of light, and you keep trying to be human, or you keep trying to fit into little tiny boxes, which are all based on incomplete truths, and so in this new era, we are talking about being this universal being. And it doesn't mean you're going to be thinking of yourself as a star seed, or, it's here, it's in the body that you are embodying that universality, which is, it's a quality. It's a quality. It's not any psychological mindset or attachment, again, to another ideal. It's you becoming the source of your acceptance, your source of love, approval, connection, and trust. Are you cultivating a powerful self-trust in which you are guiding yourself with your intuition, and all of your connection to the divine feminine is healed? And that's one thing that today is very important, because in the numerology of today, it's about the divine feminine. Okay, it's about creation, the third creation. And so the healing of the divine feminine is the healing of your capacity to trust yourself, to surrender and feel completely safe in a state of empowered connection to your divine guidance. So if you are doubting yourself, if you are externalizing your intuitive connection, intuitive guidance, this is a betrayal towards yourself. And that betrayal causes resentment over time, and it causes self-hate, it causes self-doubt, and we begin to shrink down. Our true essence is hidden underneath that layer. So the invitation is the healing of the divine feminine, particularly in this today, energetically, and for the next couple months going into next year, is that the divine feminine now comes to the forefront, in which, in the same way we're learning how to trust, how to surrender, we're learning how to embody intuitive guidance that we can feel safe with, intuitive guidance that we can trust, intuitive guidance that we can embrace. And this is the key, essentially, to freedom. Because once you stop externalizing your power, externalizing your guidance, you become a powerhouse of creation. And that is the key in the difference between lack consciousness and abundance, which you become a magnet, right? And there's, biologically, geometrically, your toroidal field is moving, you become bioelectrical, so you become a magnet of attraction based on your resonance. And since your resonance is a 0 point, everything is possible. Everything is is coming into that aligned connection. So when I say everything's possible, I'm talking about alignment, because there is an intelligence to what you're attracting. It's not just a wild card that you can just attract whatever. Everything comes into your space, following this harmonic order, following the higher intelligence of your essence and what you most need at this time for your evolution and for your journey here in the physical. Okay, so that's super important that you want to kind of integrate. And essentially, the other aspect of this new human that you are now commencing to enter into is essentially the embodiment of your higher self, and to see yourself as light, as more than just a physical. Because the more you attach to physical identities, the more confused you're going to be as we move into this new era. The more you're going to be stuck in separation, the more you're going to be stuck in in the need for attachment, in the need for externalized support. So this is the key in working with these energies. And yeah, let's get into the meditation. Go ahead and allow yourself to get really nice and comfortable. Breathing deeply. With every breath you take, as you allow yourself to come into a state of deep relaxation and calm. Go ahead and ground yourself down to the center of the earth. Visualize your field around your body. Close your field. Let's go ahead and start to work on clearing the energy body. You're going to start working with the root chakra at the base of the spine, shrinking it down to the size of a dime. The sacral, the solar, going up into the heart, expanding. The throat, expanding. The third eye, expanding. Go up into your crown, expanding your crown. Connect yourself down to the center of the earth. We're going to pull a very healing energy from the center of the earth. Go ahead and visualize this powerful healing energy rushing up your feet, up into your legs, creating a vortex of energy at your center core. Breathing, absorbing. From source, you're going to pull a powerful golden cosmic energy coming down through the crown of the head, combining with this healing earth energy at your center core. Let that earth and cosmic energy wash over you. That very healing energy, whatever color energy you chose, is you're guided by a higher intelligence to select that color because it's exactly what your body needs at this time to heal, to integrate. Take 10% of that energy back down to the center of the earth. Take 80% of that energy up your spine from the crown of the head, coating the outside of your bubble. Call back your energy from people, places, and things that you've encountered today. Go ahead and allow yourself to inhale deeply and exhale. As you allow yourself to integrate this into the body, we're going to take that final 10% of healing energy and cosmic energy up your spine, and from the crown of the head, you're going to absorb it into the body, into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cells of the body. Absorb through your body this healing energy and this cosmic energy. Go ahead and allow yourself to clean your energy body, 13 dimensions. Every chakra body is a dimension. So from the crown of your head down to the base of your feet, you're going to clean all 13 dimensional layers of your body. Don't doubt what you feel. Don't doubt what you sense. Even if you feel it's going to take longer to clear because you feel so much there, take time to reconnect with your body. Trust your intuition, what you're sensing and feeling. Go ahead and run energy through your body. I want you to begin to see yourself over the past week observing the strongest trigger emotion of the past week. And what I want you to notice is the strongest pattern that you're repeating that has triggered you this week. What pattern do you realize you're repeating that you've not been able to break? Go ahead and identify what that pattern is that you keep repeating that goes against what is good for you, what is most in alignment with you. And be absolutely present with the sensation that you feel when you do this, the emotions that come up in that moment. Name them out. Don't judge or question what you are expressing. Go ahead and select the strongest of these emotions. Which one is the most triggering, the most strongest physical reaction, the one that you feel the strongest? Go ahead and name it out and notice how your body responds. As you name it out, different parts of your body are responding. All those parts that have responded are the areas that are storing this information in the body. As you are absolutely present with this emotion and you name out the strongest emotions that come up. Notice the belief that's created in that moment as a result of this emotion. And I want you to begin to take yourself back to the very first time that you felt this emotion. Go ahead and be absolutely present with that emotion. Just observe that emotion in your body and notice if there's anyone around you that is there with you experiencing this experience. And I just want you to notice, is this emotion your emotion or someone else's? How much of this you can access by percentage? What percent of this emotion is yours from your core essence? And what percentage of this emotion is an external influence, or perhaps you are taking on someone else's emotion? As you identify that, it should be pretty clear by now, and connect with that part that is most triggered by this emotion. What is it that you need in order to not feel this emotion? Take a look. What do you need from others, and what do you need from yourself? And take a look at all the emotions that are triggered as you observe this. As you begin to observe what you need, I want you to focus on yourself in that moment. What's the opposite of this emotion, this program, emotional program that you are running? What's the opposite look like? As you allow yourself to observe what the opposite energy looks like, emotion, begin to embody this. And you might notice that it's not very far away from your true essence, the one that took on another emotion, the one that took on another belief system. That part of you had an intelligence that was innate, a knowing that is innate to you of what is in harmonic order. And all you're doing right now is reconnecting with that part of you, reconnecting with what it felt like to experience life without this program. That deep understanding that this program is an inversion of truth. You allow yourself to integrate that fully into your body. Observing the impact that this program has had in your life, I want you to gather all the fractals of yourself that have experienced the repetition of this pattern throughout your life. And as you infuse all of them with this new understanding, you're going to see them transform. You're going to feel a powerful weight lifted from the body. As you open up your energy system, you're going to feel expansiveness. I want you to allow yourself to clear all the energetic blockages in your field that are attached to these programs. As you begin to connect to that divine essence of yourself, the pure essence of yourself that is aligned with harmonic order. As you begin to activate higher octaves of its expression. Allow yourself to see and tap into the true geometric form of yourself as a free, joyful, childlike, creative being of light. I want you to tap into the emotional qualities of this being, the intuitive capacities of this being, creative aspects of this being. This is who you really are. Go ahead and integrate that into your body. As you allow yourself to begin to work with the root chakra at the base of the spine, you're going to clean that chakra. And while you're cleaning that, we're going to begin to clear our karmic contracts. Go ahead and see a room full of karmic contracts. You're going to shine your crown light on top and clear everything out. You're going to go into the next room. You're going to eliminate all the shadows that are no longer in alignment with you. We're going to go ahead and open that root chakra back into a balanced state. The sacral, the solar, closing the heart just a little bit, the throat just a little bit, the third eye just a little bit. As you go up into the crown, activate the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And above you is a powerful white light, a source. I want you to connect up into that white light. You're going to bring that source energy down to the column of your body, down to the center of the earth. Go ahead and activate the chakra underneath your body. First one, second one, third. As you begin to open up your toroidal field, I want you to gently allow yourself to move your energy in your toroidal system. And as you do, you're moving your toroidal field. Notice any parts that feel stuck or stagnant, and immediately flush out those parts that feel difficult to move through. Until you can move that toroidal field gently around you. I want you to come into a state of deep love. Powerful love. As you connect to your divine essence, to the true self. Allow yourself to embody peace, harmony, joy, as you are embodying source. Go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the room. You guys did amazing. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was an honor to share with you, and I hope that this meditation and this talk helped in some way. If it did, please do feel free to subscribe and share this and like the video if you thought it was good. And also put your comments. I'm really excited to hear what was the pattern that you are repeating right now and have a hard time breaking, okay? And I want you to share with us what that is. I would love to hear from you guys and see, because you'll notice a lot of us are repeating a lot of the same patterns. All right, so I'm going to jump really quickly into the chat. If you guys have questions, I would be very happy to answer that question. Very big week on the digestion system, not just for my friends like nausea from this shift speeds. Well, definitely a lot of digestive issues in the past month from multiple people. So that's a big theme. And I was just meditating actually earlier today about why that is. And looking at, the solar plexus being your digestive energy, that's your triple burner, right? That's where all your life force is mostly cultivated, the emotional body. So this is where we want to clear that up. So the emotions in the center is, are you holding on to heavy emotions that you're not processing? That's primarily what digestion will be affected by. So if you're holding on to strong emotions that you can't process, clear them out, process them fully, and that'll help you heal that. Smart Charles says, my father finally passed away several days ago. What can I do to best serve myself, my family, and humanity? Charles, my deepest sympathy for you and your family. I send you so much peace during this time and support. Everybody, please send Charles some energy and some love to honor, your father as he returns to the source once again. But Charles, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. I mean, everything that you're doing in your life right now, to honor yourself, to take care of yourself, to be in peace with yourself, to listen, to be guided. A few years ago, we had a lot of blockages on our path. And I think that the universe has been working collectively with you to get you exactly where you need to be. This is a moment of major expansion and awakening for you. Things are going to start moving so fast for you in the coming year. So I really want you to focus on getting clear. And when you have time, after you spend time to heal this heart, begin to review, what are the patterns that we don't want to repeat? And I know you know what I mean. So we're opening a pathway where you are the leader in your family right now. Okay. And so that means you're going to pave the path for some new things that have never been done in your family before. You're going to do it different. You need to want to do it different because the opportunities that you have right now are one of a kind and they're changing everything for the good. Okay. So come into deep honesty with yourself. Be really authentic and honest about what is in alignment with you, and absolutely go and do that. Okay. Yeah, all my love to you, Charles. And if I can support you, let me know. Okay. Thank you so much. Galliano 19, please elaborate about reptilian races. Massive topic. I'm not sure I have time tonight to cover all of that. Galliano, maybe you can tell me exactly what you want to know, because it's a very broad topic. We can, talk about the history, talk about the archetype, talk about the manifestation, who they work, what they do. There's a lot of information there. But I will say this, we all have the core reptilian archetype in our biology, right? Because we are descendants of these reptilian races, essentially. Everything down to how our survival mechanisms, humanity's survival mechanisms, are learned from the reptilian consciousness, okay? That vibrational frequency of the reptilian. And so it's part of the human experience, it's part of the process of evolution that humanity is learning to move through. And so when we think of our reptilians, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to touch or look at that. But actually, fundamentally, archetypally, we hold a lot of that archetypal energy in the human race today. So we need to alchemize that, and we need to change that, because it's not something we have to separate ourselves from. It's something we have to embrace fully, so we understand the value of those aspects. Okay. So, again, we're changing in the way that we're surviving from the old model, which is built on a lot of this reptilian consciousness, because we're evolving from, carbon-based beings into beings of light, right? Into this silicon-based crystalline system of energy. And so this is part of these old generations of the human race. Okay. Jay, great to see you. Vibing with you tonight. Thank you for being here. Ashley, thank you for being here. Pono, great to see you. We know the old system is built in and on fear. There are not a lot of us that would simply give the governments the finger and keep walking. How the beings can we tap into laughing at that old system? Um, I'm not sure that's the question we really want to ask, because it's not so much about laughing about the old system, and I hope I understood your question correctly. Um, Again, the outside world and what the government is doing and what their value system, it's a reflection of our unresolved shadow. Okay, we're not separate from that. We're not it's not like we haven't participated in some of those areas of consciousness. We are all humans that have all dealt with the most primal aspects of emotions, primal survival mechanisms, primal manipulation, control, deceit, narratives that are manipulating from places of fear. And, a lot of these governments are focused on that because they're in this survival system. So, what we really want to do is we want to look at ourselves, okay, and take a look at how we have those aspects in ourselves. Fears, anxieties, all of that. And that's how we will shift our perception to embrace this less mature, less developed aspect of the human race. Okay. And it's not just developed aspect of the human race, it's a state of consciousness, which is also in us. Okay. So we don't really need to do anything towards the government because all of that is going to gently change. Our focus has to be in anchoring a new consciousness into this planet. And if we're busy judging or separating ourselves or resisting what is actually happening outside of us, we're just anchoring the exact same energy into this world. So that's very important to understand because those are the mechanics of co-creation. Thank you so much for that question, September Sun. Ariel Kalem says, hold on. So Ariel Kalem says, hi all, can you explain to me what you mean when you say dimensions? As I understand it, there are limitless dimensions. What would the significance of counting them be? Yeah, so when we talk about 13 or 5 or 7 dimension in the body, it's your architecture. Okay, so really important to understand dimensions is not something external to us. We are the source of the dimensions. Every single one of you is an access point into those dimensions because your body is self-organizing those dimensions, and you self-organize those dimensions through your body, both the biological physical body and the etheric body. Okay, so all infinitism. Not sure what that's an interesting. I've never used that word before, but the infinite potential that is available to the human is through this energy system, and we access it through the physical body. Each of your chakras is the dimension, is the access point to the dimension. You are a portal to all dimensions, infinite. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get to know ourselves so well that we begin to access that information, and we begin to recognize and feel and sense and know how this information is stored in our body. What kind of information is stored within our body? Because it's your dimensional expression, which is all the toroidal fields of your body, are all individual dimensions. You're storing memory, both terrestrial, your memory of your life, ancestral, interdimensional. The entire Akashic system is organized within the dimensional data of your full expression. So as you connect with yourself, as you work with your energy body, as you clean your energy body daily, you are opening the pathways to that dimensional access. And it's extremely important for you to do that, because everything you experience is a projection of what you're moving through your body. So let's say, you're super physical, attached to the earth, reptilian mindset, survival mindset. Because that is your construct, and because that's the construct you're cultivating through your frequency, you're only going to be able to navigate a limited amount of dimensions. Okay, so maybe 1 through 3, 4, maximum 4. Okay. So let's say you start moving that energy, clearing, unblocking those core belief systems. You start opening, maybe the heart, the throat, the third eye, right? And so when we talk about ascension, that's what we're talking about. That when you raise your frequency, it means that you're expanding your range in which you can access visible light, and you're expanding your capacity to process higher dimensional data through your body. Your body is the source of all of that. It's the interface of all of that. Okay, so every chakra that you clean up, you're opening and expanding information. So as you work deeper in deprogramming yourself, the more your vision and perception expands, and you can actually tune into that. So yeah, thank you for that question. I hope that helps. There's more that I can say, but ooh, thank you for sharing your patterns, guys. September says pattern is not being good enough. Wow, amazing. Thank you for that. Ashlia Sala, thank you. Buddy Doug, great to catch you live from Thailand. Yay, Thailand. Self-loving soul, yay, says pattern is absorbing and carrying energy from others that's not mine to carry. Wow, amazing. Are we going dweeb? Yes, Paulo. Emotional holographic mirroring life spectrums. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much. It was an honor to connect with you. As always, I love you. Have an amazing day. Happy 12/12. And let's go deeper. Okay, I love you so much, and I will see you Sunday. And also, I'm having this amazing one-day retreat that I would love to invite you to come next Saturday, where we're going to be taking a look at the Negretto process of alchemy. Okay, the Negretto process of alchemy is where we go into the deepest shadow. And just as we're doing today in this kind of meditation, we're going to do a hypnosis to go even deeper into the layers of collective programming that we're holding on to, the repeated patterns in the collective, in your ancestral lineage, in your, star seed bloodlines. So you can really take a look at what those patterns are and clear them before you enter into this new year. Now, for me, the new year is February, March, okay? Because that's energetically when the energies are changing. But for the Gregorian calendar, it's next week. A couple of weeks from today is our new year, numerologically, for the Gregorian calendar. So this is a great opportunity for you to enter into that new numerological energy with a clean slate. Okay. All right, guys. Love you so much. And I cannot wait to see you then.